Avvio motore principale. Meno 10 secondi.
Dobbiamo affrontare la realtà. Non c'è niente nel nostro sistema solare che possa aiutarci.
9,
Ho dei figli, professore. Per quanto starei lontano?
8,
Ti sto chiedendo di fidarti di me.
7,
Marv, mi devi parlare.
6,
Devo sistemare tutto prima di partire.
Non sai nemmeno quando tornerai.
5, accensione motore principale.
Non potevi dirle che devi salvare il mondo?
No.
4,
Quando diventi genitore,
3,
una cosa ti è molto chiara.
2,
Vuoi che i tuoi figli si sentano al sicuro.
1.
Yeah. There was a lot of tears. The tears you saw were the tears. You know, I remember coming into some of those scenes, and I can sometimes get a little anxious about it and coming into one of those scenes. But the ironic thing about those kind of scenes are the actor's job is really to completely relax and just receive. So, as my friend says, it's called relaxation for a reason. You're not going to make it hard. She always says that, and it's like a very good lesson. So going into those, you know, the stuff with where Cooper sees what he sees, I made sure I didn't see any of that until the day. And when I went in that morning, I went up and I said to the director, I said, the first take is going to be the one, and because it'll be my most rawest reaction. And so he said, okay. And I think he got out an extra couple of cameras, and it was the one, because it was the first reaction, you know. But then after those, you know, it feels it's pretty relaxing after a good cry. You know what I mean? Afterwards, you feel a little cleaner. You know, it's like it feels like you just had a good Sunday.
It was physically challenging with the suit and everything.
Yeah, I would say the most physically challenging would be Iceland. Hiking that glacier in that 40-pound suit with clamp-ons with the spikes on the bottom of the shoes. And it was slippery. People were falling, and there were chasms where if you fell, you were not going to get rescued. It was goodbye. And the wind would pick up and hit 50 miles an hour, so you'd have to lay down. That was exhausting. It was as much mentally exhausting as physically, because every single step you had to be completely secure with where you're going because it was dangerous. And then the zero gravity stuff, towards, I won't tell where in the movie, but when I'm hanging, I was 80 feet off the ground on wires. So we worked for 3 weeks before the film to get comfortable doing that. So on the day, hopefully we could relax and perform. That was exhausting. Hanging up there for hours became very exhausting, especially if I looked down. I never got over that. Looking down, my heart rate always went up. So I had to remind myself not to look down.
And about the technical stuff that Cooper said always in the movie,
Yeah.
did you understand everything
Yeah.
that you said?
I had to. I've probably forgotten it now.
Studied.
But I had to.
Does our planet deserve to be saved?
Does our planet deserve to be saved?
Yeah.
Yes, I hope
And
so.
why? For us, just for us.
I mean, we've got a great planet. Best one I know of.
The only one we know.
You know? Sure it does. So I would say, before save, let's just say preserve. You know? And there's more reasons than I know of why it should be, sure. I like this place.
You as an actor has made a sort of travel in time, because now you are here as a dramatic actor as for Contact 20 years ago, and you are on air with Woody Harrelson, that was your teammate in at TV. Your life has changed a lot between these two steps.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. Sure, it has, but I don't see it as a. Some people have framed it as a, well, that was then, and this is now. I just see it as it's all been connected. This is a whole different period. Why? I've been asked many times. I'm in my 40s. You know,
Yes.
it's a great time for a man to be in his 40s. You get real identity in that. I've got children. I got a family. I'm sure that has something to do with it. I enjoyed the comedies, and I'm pretty sure I'll end up doing some more later on. I was just at a time where I was like, I want to find some roles that I can really hang my hat on humanity, and no one's going to tell me when to stop as far as going how deep I want to go. And if no one's going to tell me how to, I'm laughing too loud, I'm crying too much, I'm too happy, I'm too sad. And dramas allow that bandwidth to say, go as deep as you want to go, and go as light as you want to go. So a lot of comedies have a smaller bandwidth.
Yeah.
Because they have to kind of stay bouncing on top of the clouds. If you drop an anchor in a romantic comedy and you go deep, you sink them. They're dead. The whole show's dead. So they're light by design. So you're supposed to kind of stay light. And I just was wanting to say, hey, you know what? I want to go in dramas where I can really find somebody and I can clearly define their obsessions, and no one's going to tell me, oh, it's too much. That's why I was doing it.
Thank you.
What do you think about your character? Do you agree with his choice?
Do I agree with his choice? Yeah, but I read to the end. I don't know what I'd do in that position. I think I know what I'd do. Look, there are huge consequences with whichever decision he makes. You can understand if he made the other choice. I think he made the choice with the plan of having his cake and eating it too. Actually, being the one to help pull off the mission that could save mankind, and also being able to return to his children, and that they were part of the people he would be saving if the mission was successful. So, in a way, I think he took the brave choice. He took the harder choice. He took the choice that held a lot more fear, that required a lot more courage, I think. Yeah.
Would you have been able to shoot this movie before having children? Or would it have been?
I don't know. I've been asked that. I think I could have, but that's me saying that. There's definitely practical experience I have with my children as a father that I instinctually brought to Cooper. I mean, I could have imagined it. I had ideas about what kind of father I would be beforehand. I was always comfortable with children. But, yeah, I'm sure there's things that I don't even know, just as a father now. And I had been a father at that time for about 4 years, that I just instinctually, I'm sure it helped. I'm sure it gave import to my performance. I'm sure it did.
There is some kind of mythology about the anecdote that you went into the Christopher Nolan's house and you didn't talk about the film. Mm-mm. How did you feel back then? And I mean, what did you think about yourself? And why did these guys call you?
Well, I was pretty sure he was not a guy who just like does something on a whim, and I was pretty sure he was a guy that didn't want to see me just because he thought it might be a good idea. I mean, I knew if he was seeing me, I was pretty sure that he's a guy that makes his own decisions. I figured he was a guy that had come up with the idea of wanting to see me or me being in the film, that he had come up with that, but not anyone else's idea. I knew it was his idea before it was the studio's idea or anyone else's. So, I mean, I knew the meeting meant something. I just thought usually you talk about something specific about the character or the movie. He didn't. Like I said, we talked about being fathers. We talked about being men. We joked about some things. And he said, look, he goes, I wasn't questioning whether Matthew could emotionally or be the right actor to take us to the role.
Maybe it shows you because in your real life you are an explorer, not a guardian, as in the movie.
Right. Well, I'm guardian too. I got 3 kids. Sure protect them.
Among the many themes of the film, which one do you feel is the most important, or the most important to you?
Sure.
Also at an emotional level?
Yeah. Look, the main the message that turns me on of the movie is that the expectations, our expectations of ourselves, mankind's expectations have to be greater than ourselves. They got to be bigger than ourselves. It is. I know in my own life, I've learned more about myself or where I'm from because I've left where I was at home. I've left what I've known to then better understand what the heck I know. I've learned more about America when I left America. I've learned about my home when I've left it. I've learned more about myself when I got lost and had to come back and find myself. So those metaphors go on, but I think that's the main message I get. It's also, I think the whole film is incredibly challenging to mankind. At the same time, it's incredibly faithful. I mean, it's a great message about self-reliance as well, and the capacity of mankind's ambitions and how they're actually greater than we even give them credit for. That's the messages that the overall ones. That's also why I want my kids to see it, for those reasons.
Did you really punch Matt Damon? I mean, and he deserved it.
Yes.
That's the big question.
Dan sure did, didn't he? But I don't know what you're talking about. Is he? What are you talking about?
Yeah, of course.
I don't even know. I don't know what you're talking about. All right, grazie.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye.
Troveremo una soluzione. L'abbiamo sempre fatto.